This is the Alliance Gear Review, and today we're going to go over two products from Fliteboard. Hi, I'm Chase Hevener, and we're here with Harley Clifford, Fliteboard ambassador, and we're here to talk about Fliteboards.
Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, man, good to see you too.
Guys, we are downtown Orlando right now on Lake Ivanhoe with the guys from Ski World, the local Orlando retailer. We've got the Flite ULTRA here and then the Flite AIR, and we're going to run you guys through these Fliteboards. All of Fliteboard products come with two different thrusting mechanisms. They have the jet and then the propeller thruster. All right, guys, we got the Fliteboard AIR right here. This is new to the Fliteboard line this year. They have the Fliteboard Pro AIR, and then we've got the Fliteboard AIR, which is the bigger size board. But this board here is basically perfect for any beginner or someone that's learning to get up and start flying for their first time. It's a rigid inflatable, so it's got a hard shell in the middle and then a inflatable outer shell, which is really good. It is not going to cause any damage. The Flite AIR comes in three fun colors. We got the Uzu, the Pompelmo, and the Acai, nice bright colors. I think they throw out good vibes on the water as well. The Flite AIR is Fliteboard's price point eFoil. It's great price. $6,995, so very affordable and a good way to get out in the water and learn to eFoil. So Chase, we just got out there for the first time. What did you think of these bad boys?
It was really fun. I've ridden, a bunch of different eFoils, and these are really cool products. Very well engineered. I noticed that right off the bat, right when we started putting them together, the way everything's designed is very well thought out, very different.
Yeah, very rigid.
Even internally, the way things are structured with how, these little custom pieces is really cool. So I was really impressed initially with the general design of the Fliteboards.
Yeah.
But I got out on this inflatable one first. So you have this inflatable outer rim here on this. And I know for me, I have inflatable wing boards and all kinds of different things. And it's the perfect way to get somebody up on foil for the first time. There's, if you're hitting this, it's hard, but it's not going to hurt you.
Less intimidating,
it's
for sure.
And so you can get people up without that sort of initial fear of another thing down there that's going to
I mean, that was part of the design concept when they made this thing, was to obviously get the price down, but then make it very beginner friendly. And I think they've done an amazing job at that.
The price on these is very interesting. At $6,995, it's a really interesting price point, I think, for a board like this.
Yeah.
I think they will, you'll get a lot of new riders to be getting these for a lot of different reasons. I think they're really good for being in and around docks, but I think they're really good for just beginners in general who want to get into the sport. And this is the easiest way to do that, you know?
Not only the contraption itself, but the price point, everything about it is just attracts a beginner.
Yeah. And I know for me, people are, Fliteboards are definitely the entry point into the foiling world, So I think something like this is a super interesting product, and I had a good time on it. It's different. I mean, the way it's configured right now, very big tail, very big front wing. So there wasn't a lot of hard aggressive turns, but I know you don't want that for a beginner.
Yeah, this is quite a stable setup.
Yeah, it was very stable, and you want people to be able to get up and go straight and get on foil very easily, and it was certainly that experience. But yeah, it was super fun, man. I was kind of out there trying to hang 10 on it and just do fun stuff.
You kept saying you're not turning sharp on this thing, but I thought you were turning beautifully on this thing.
Yeah.
I got on it and I was like, how does Chase ride this thing so well? Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, super fun. I had a good time on it. Like I said, I like all these kind of different designs and just kind of beginner setups. It's just fun to ride, and it forces you to have fun. It forces you to just
For sure. I mean, this is great to do things sit down on and cruise
100%.
around. Yeah, you can just learn so many different things on it.
Yep.
Yeah, and kind of open your mind up and not just try and do the sharpest turn and that sort of stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
So there's two things that were easy about it. The remote system, like I said, was new to me, and so what I felt with the remote system was with other electronic foil systems, the trigger is very touchy. And so that is creating all this sort of thrust, and you're kind of like trying to figure that out while you're trying to learn to foil. And this is hold the trigger, push the button. And when you do that, it just starts going. And then you stop thinking about going, and then you're just focusing on getting up. So that was a really, like for beginners, I feel like that's a real plus.
Yeah, you're not having to learn the throttle.
One less thing to think about, you know? So like, we're going, keep your finger on the throttle, and now I can just focus on like getting on my knees and then getting up. So that was really cool. And then this board's so big, like I was standing up on it immediately.
Yeah.
Like with this thing, I was like, it took me a second
to
figure it out.
I mean, and that's not even the biggest board. This is the 80 litre 5.2 in the Air series, and they also make the 110 litre, which is a 5.8, which is even more beginner friendly. Yeah, more stable.
Yeah. The challenge for me is that I want to be turning, and I want to start getting into like, you know, like doing more like, you know, fun turns or whatever. And the way it's set up right now with the bigger tail and the bigger foils, it was just sort of forcing me to just get up and go straight. And it was hard to roll onto edge and like be in like the boat waves and stuff because it's overpowered.
Yeah.
Just in the sense that it's a big wing.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's made for. It's made for beginners, you know, and just being on foil at slow speeds kind of thing.
And the beauty of that is you're not locked into this wing. You know, you can just unbolt this wing and put a more turn-friendly, responsive wing on there, and that's going to change the complete ride of this foil setup, which is really cool. You know, as you kind of advance, you can just change the wing and advance with it.
So you're buying into a system.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. All right, the Fliteboard ULTRA is a completely customizable eFoil. This thing's awesome. You can change all the front wings to all of Flite's different range of wings. You can change the stabilizer wing at the back. It's got the jet option, the prop option, or the prop guard option. It's got 3 different batteries you can put in this thing. We've got the adventure battery, the sport battery, and the Nano battery as well. So you can make this foil really light, really nimble. It's a beautiful foil to take out in the ocean and try and surf on the waves unpowered, which is really cool. And the thing just looks badass. Look how sleek this thing looks. This board also has a 2-year warranty and comes at a price of $10,995. So a little bit more premium, but you get a very premium ride out of it. So Chase, you spent a little bit of time on the Flite AIR, and then about midway through the session, we switched up and I chucked you on the Ultra right here. What did you find that was different about this board, and what did you like about this board?
When people ask me about eFoiling and foiling in general, I always tell them that like it's everything you imagined hoverboard being from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Like it is that feeling that you imagined it being when you saw the movie of like Marty McFly just like flying down, you know, over the water, and it's like you get out there and you're like, okay, I'm hoverboarding, you know.
Is this even real?
Yeah, exactly. And like this board is that experience. It's the experience of that like frictionless hovering over the water, hyper control, hyper speed. Like this is like obviously like a pro model. So so it's kind of like, I know for me, like when I started on it, and you kind of told me about this, is it's like it's not the Air. It's a much more aggressive start, and I definitely felt that like you know, like it was kind of sinking, and you just kind of got to get your like technique right.
It's got like a bit more of a technique to get up on the thing.
So on like the Fliteboard ULTRA, like I was instantly turning faster, I was instantly going faster, I was instantly like doing the things I kind of wanted to be doing on foil. So this has a lot more applications for, you know, progression than the Flite AIR, I think. You know, like this is one of those things where like I see guys out on the ocean on this thing. I see guys like in lakes doing like hyper finned out turns, you know, like what you were doing out there, you know, like you were like ripping around out there. So
what about this board did you find more difficult than the Air? And then I guess let us know what you liked more about this board when you're up riding.
Yeah, so starting on this board is certainly more difficult. It's geared again towards a much more like advanced rider.
100%.
And so like when I was getting up on it, I was sort of like it was just a totally different experience. You know, the board was much farther underwater. You know, you kind of had to have a little bit of technique to get up on it.
Yeah.
But once you were up on foil, I was much more comfortable on this because it was turning when I wanted it to turn. Whereas like the Air was kind of like a big a big steady rock and then you turn and it's a little more effort. This board is very much like you kind of like look where you want to go and it's ready to go. So I think you know, that's one part lightness board, that's one part foil setup. You know, it's a different foil on there, it's a different, you know, no prop guard, that sort of thing. So I had a really good time on this board. Again, it's sort of one of those things when you're switching foils so quickly, it's hard, it can be like you get used to one setup and then to just jump on another one, it's all got to start like lining up, and it takes a little bit. But once I got on it and figured it out, I was like, okay, this is cool, you know. Okay, so to wrap this up, who are these boards for? The Fliteboard AIR, this is again, this is a beginner product. This is for teaching, this is for learning the Fliteboard. And then the Fliteboard ULTRA, this is for the more advanced rider. This is for the board you grow into. You get something that you can advance into and become a better rider. So I had a great time on both of them. It was really fun switching in and out, and it was really fun riding with you, Harley. So,
yeah, good to get out there, mate.
Super good time. So.
If you guys want any more information, head to fliteboard.com. These are not the only 2 Fliteboards they have in the range. There's a bunch more boards. So yeah, check out the products on there, and yeah, hope to see you guys out Fliteboarding soon.